Onto another brand, LVMH. Now they came to MBS at the beginning of this year.
Yes, they did.
And you delivered a workshop along with a lot of recruitment. Will they come back again?
Yes, they will. So, well, the good news is our students did a very good job. I mean, I've been trying for a few years to get LVMH down to Melbourne, and I think the success we had last year, which is mostly down to the students, I think there are 3 students that attended that day that are now in full-time positions at LVMH.
Fantastic.
Which is a good ratio for us. I mean, it was 3 out of 20 something. That sounds like a failure, but trust me, it's not. It's a great ratio. At Harvard, it was 0 out of 30, and for us, it was 3 out of 25. So that's good news. So they liked our students. I mean, they like the Chinese and the Mandarin speakers, of course. Yeah. But there's also a couple of Aussies that have done well. And in that sense, I think it was a triumph for us. What will happen, my understanding from the team, is they will come back probably the start of 2011 with the same program. And we will use Melbourne Business School as the hub for recruitment for much of Asia Pacific, meaning that they will visit some other places in Australia and Asia, and if they like the people, they will fly them to Melbourne Business School for the selection event along with our people.
Fantastic.
So yeah, so far so good. So I mean, look, I can't overstate how good that is for us. You know, probably my understanding from the group is that, and this is certainly not confirmed yet, but probably LVMH would recruit for this calendar year in Stanford, Kellogg, London Business School, INSEAD. So we're in a top tier list there, and I think that's, I mean, obviously I'm well connected with the group, but I think it's mostly down to the fact that when the great team from LVMH came down, they liked the people they saw, and it's worth them coming back again. And that's great. It means we got the right caliber of student.
Fantastic. It's a great vote of confidence.
It really is. And look, I mean, LVMH, you know, you can't tell them to do something they don't want to do. So it really is proof that we've done it well. Julie set it up very nicely in the careers service. The students were all first of all, they all came, and second, they'd all prepared. And that, you know, we can't overstate the importance of that. You can turn down a job offer and do it politely, and it does the school no harm. Sure. But you can't not attend a presentation from a recruiter. You know, that damages the school's perception, and I think we did a great job.
Indeed. So folks, for those that are interested in a career with LVMH, make sure it's in your calendar for early 2011. And
we'll certainly notify you when it's going to happen, and again, it will be selective, so particularly if you've got language skills and specifically around Mandarin, it's very popular, of course. Some background in retail, we always like, or a real passion for a particular luxury brand within the group. All of these are good things, but again, you know, I can't overstate again enough the retail interest and experience, very important to the group.
Great. Now, another question, Mark. What happened to the end of class drinks at your place? They were the bomb.
So, okay, I can tell the true story. So, we were having a good old time with these things, and you know, my wife's a very tolerant and patient woman, as you might imagine. And we've got a nice little pad in down the road, not far from the school. So we used to have a little informal get-together at the end of each class, and it was going very well. And alas, we had a delightful but rather inexperienced American exchange student, we can say that I'm sure, who attended the event and partook of many of the fine beverages which I had provided. And we were having a bit of a vertical tasting of several different beverages, and you know, it's quite a mature group in mature in many senses of the word. We can all take a drink, of course, and you can do that sort of thing with the students, and it's very nice. Alas, she appeared to well, by 6 o'clock basically, we only got there at 5. She was a little unwell. So she said she was dizzy, and my wife wasn't there, which is even worse, and she doesn't know this story, so I fucking hope she... Oh, sorry.
So well, we can censor that out.
Can you bleep that out? So yeah, anyway, she was unwell, and she had a bit of a turn and was ill in my apartment in various places. And alas, that resulted in my wife telling me in no uncertain terms that we would never, ever have to be able to do it again. I am working on her, but alas, in this case, one of our exchange students really let us down, because until then we'd had these lovely events for years, which had been terrific, and it's nice to get the part-timers and the full-timers together.
Indeed.
But yeah, you got to blame it on the American JYA student. Our own American students are full-time, are very, very fine, experienced drinkers, but I think she was a little bit green in more ways than one.
Well, I hope your wife does see. Give us a second chance.
She's a stubborn woman, I tell you that much. She's a stubborn woman. It'll take a long time. So.
We probably have we have time for one last question. I think it's a beauty. Mark, we understand that you have three loves in your life. It's beer, wine,
Definitely.
and beer.
Yes,
so here's a challenge
very
for
accurate.
you.
I think I'm going to name women there. I was going to say, well, this will get really confidential. Oh shit! Now what is this?
Now this is a bit of a challenge for you. You have to name the country where these beers come from.
I'm ready.
Okay. Well, we can start off. Ready for your first test?
I'm ready and confident. Years of practice.
Tiger.
Very simple. Yeah, it's got to be. It's Singaporean beer.
Ding.
One of my favourite beverages.
Kirin.
Indeed, again, I would say I'm pretty confident this is a Japanese beer. Again, one of my favourite beverages.
Ding.
Certainly in my top 20.
Bee's knees.
Ooh, now. I've drunk it, and it's a honey beer, of course. Now I'm going to say... So, it's difficult because I do know the beer. It's certainly a wheat beer, which would suggest it's moving towards a North American tint, because they do tend to focus on those. I'm going to say American.
Bam bam!
Oh dear.
We'll come back to that.
Bee's knees.
Now, are you going to help me with pronunciation of this one?
Koenig Pilsner should be... Koenig's should be German.
Ding!
Can be
Very
Czech.
good.
Right, yeah, must be German.
Lucky last. Catinia.
Well, that's Mexican.
Sure?
Hang on, let me have a look, as it says beer importe at the bottom, which isn't Mexican. Cerveza is Spanish. Beer importe. Oh, I'm going to say Brazilian.
Bam bam!
Oh dear.
You've done very well though, Mark. Three out of 5.
Well, I'm a bit amused.
So Bee's knees is an Australian.
Ah.
So that means you need to spend more time
It's true.
in Australia.
It's very true.
And Catinia is El Salvadorian.
El Salvadorian. Jeez, that was a low blow, wasn't it? No.
Yeah, well, it is to keep you on your toes.
Well, no, I'm desperately 3 out of 5. You know, that's pretty piss poor, I would say, in general there.
Lastly, Mark,
Yes.
where to from here? What's your calendar over the next 3 months?
Yes, it's an interesting calendar. So in order of places, I will be going to Perth tomorrow morning. I will be going to Sydney from Perth. From there, I'll be going to Tasmania for a recreation next weekend. Then I'll be going to LA for a week, followed by a trip to New York, followed by from New York to London, to Paris, back to Singapore, and then back to Melbourne. And that will see us through September, believe it or not.
September.
October I'm teaching back here more, so the good news is I'll be based here much more permanently, only a couple of trips. And then I've got 2 trips to Europe in November and December. At the moment, that's all. So yeah, if I can get through September, I'll be fine.
Well, we definitely hope to see you more back in Melbourne, Mark. You've been a great sport. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the spotlight. We wish you all the best for all your pursuits, and keep on doing the great work that you do with your students, with business, and with all the consumers out there.
Thank you so much. And one final question for you. I'm sure I can add with one. Can I take the El Salvadorian beer home with me?
Pleasure. Go for it.
Result.
Cheers.
Good man.